before you found that benefactor, no longer forcing you to take clients. Liu Su hated it deeply. I talked about what happened today. Suddenly, a chill filled the room. Zaya Kinglian said coldly, "You mean to say that person came to the Red Mansion again today?" "That's right. This guy doesn't know what's wrong with him. Came again but didn't engage. Seeing me, they ran away," Liu Su said with frustration. Zaya Kinglian snorted. Liu Su noticed. The Saintess seems to be in a bad mood. Closed their mouth wisely. No more static. A moment of silence. Zaya Kinglian said, "You leave the Red Chamber." "Yes." Liu Su was overjoyed. Immediately bowed down to respond. Then he asked again, "Saint Maiden, leaving the Red Mansion, where am I going?" Zaya Kinglian said softly, "Tomorrow you will go to Jeju Alley." "No, 37 at the end of the alley. Living there was a second-tier Dan Master. He is summoning the Spirit Fan Ki. You go for the interview." "Spirit Fan Ki." Liu Su clapped his hands. "I'm familiar with this. When the Holy Master was refining elixirs in the past, I was the one fanning from the side. Saint Maiden, this alchemist is only at the second rank. Could it be that you arranged the hidden pawn?" Zaya Kinglian said, "You can go by yourself. No, ask more questions. Don't tell anyone I sent you." Liu Su was puzzled. Uncle and nephew slapped their thighs. Huangren said, "I understand. The Saintess has doubts about this dark pawn. Let me go watch her right." Zaya Kinglian looked at her quietly. Liu Su immediately covered her mouth with both hands. A pair of big eyes, spinning round and round. But this guy, even when he covered himself up, the mouth still won't close. The sound flowed out from between the fingers. "Saint Maiden, how do I get out?" Zaya Kinglian frowned slightly. Liu Su put down his hand. "Whisper softly. Saint Woman, how do I get out?" "That nanny Jang. You won't let me go. Even if I run away, he will also send someone to capture me everywhere. What if he finds out? Our relationship has gone bad." Zaya Kinglian frowned. Her face was like cold frost. The next day, Yihang Building. A strange thing happened. Morning, Jiang Beimu was discovered, with more than 10 turtle masters. Chai Mai lies on the bed. The scene was in complete disarray. There are 50 snacks on the table. This is the redemption fee for the courtesan Rui. Rui left behind a note. It is written above that she has redeemed herself, left the Yihang Building. Let Jiang Beimu stop entangling further. If not, then next time, double the dosage of this passion pill. Let Jiang Beimu die in the bellies of these turtle patrons. This strange tale quickly locked inside the Yihang Building. Jiang Beimu's stern order: if anyone dares to spread this outside, always have her swallow a whole passion pill. Yet the feeling has nowhere to vent. And that courtesan, Rui, as if evaporating from the world, never appeared again. Over time, Rui Fairy is gradually being replaced by a new courtesan. No one talks about it anymore. Jeju Alley. Qin Zhenyan walked out from the alchemy room, just in time to see the River of Autumn chased away 2 female cultivators who came to apply. However, these 2 are heavily made up. At a glance, it's clear they are not someone who takes things seriously. Even if the River of Autumn does not intervene, Qin Zhenyan wouldn't spend on snacks for someone like that. Be your own spiritual key. He couldn't help but sigh. No wonder they all say finding female medicine is difficult. The female cultivator with low skills is unwilling to do it. A highly skilled female cultivator is to disdain doing. If I had known, I wouldn't have been so rigid about gender. if it really doesn't work. In the alley of Jeju, renting a small room specifically for alchemy. This way, there's no need to only seek female cultivators. But this method is good. Qin Zhenyan was just planning to go to the night market. Change the information in Li Wen's formation. There was another knock at the door. At that moment, Chiarihi had just walked into the kitchen. Qin Zhenyan shouted from the kitchen, "Chai, I'll go open the door. If it's still those unreliable ones." I drove him away. "Sorry, I can't assist with that." A faint reply came from the kitchen. Qin Zhenyan walked over and opened the door. Just at that moment, How did you find your way here?" Liu Su standing at the door. "Open your eyes wide," pointing at Qin Zhenyan. "I do. You heartless man." Immediately thought of the saint's command. "Quickly organize your expression." Asked gently, "This fellow cultivator, are you here to summon spirits?" Bummed. The conversation isn't over yet. The door slammed shut. "Who is it?" Hyuji walked out of the kitchen. Qin Zhenyan asked. Qin Zhenyan laughed heartily. "Another shameless person." I drove him away. Knock, knock, knock. Shouts echoed from outside. "Hello, heartless man. Open the door." Hyuji raised an eyebrow, walking towards the main gate. Qin Zhenyan quickly said, "Chai, don't pay attention to people like that. When he gets tired of knocking, he'll naturally leave. The River of Autumn has opened its door." Saw someone standing at the door. Fuming Liu Su, Qin Zhenyan sighed in frustration. Only explained, "Chai, I don't know either. How did this courtesan find her way to Jeju Alley? But I really didn't. Come in." But then the River of Autumn softly spoke. She stepped aside to let the courtesan in. Qin Zhenyan is the main character. These past 2 days, the river has never allowed anyone to enter. Liu Su was also a bit stunned. He always feels that the petite female cultivator in front of me seems familiar, but I can't remember. Where have I seen him? That I heard that they are recruiting for the Lingfen key here. I have come to apply. At that moment, Liu Su didn't think much. According to the saint's command, he stated his intentions. "Do you want to become the spirit fan key?" Qin Zhenyan looked up and down at the Ruyi courtesan. Naturally, I was 12 parts skeptical. "Chai," and let him go right away. Just about to kick this woman out. But the River of Autumn faintly said, "Sure, I have something to tell you." Qin Zhenyan pulled Kyuje into the bedroom. He said to him, "I may not have explained clearly just now. This woman's name is Ruyi. She is the courtesan of the Red Mansion. Last time I almost made a mistake there. I don't know either. Why did she come here? Don't say things out of anger. I will chase her away right now." Qin Zhenyan thought that the Autumn River was angry, saying the opposite again, thinking about the couple's relationship. "It still needs to be made clear. I didn't say it in anger." The River of Autumn said calmly, "I find this auspicious and trustworthy, capable and obedient. In the future, I will surely become a valuable assistant on your path to mastery in alchemy. Loyal and trustworthy, capable and obedient." Qin Zhenyan stared wide-eyed at Kyuje. "Xinzhang, this person is clearly among the many applicants the most enchanting one. Where do you see that? He is loyal and capable." Just trying to discern again. The River of Autumn has left the bedroom. Weilu. Liu Su propped her chin up with one hand, leaning awkwardly against the table. Seeing the two people come out, sit up straight immediately. Sweet smile, revealing a big white smile. "Madam, can I really stay?" She spotted it at a glance. This heartless man has no say at home. Can I successfully complete the task assigned by the saint? All eyes are on the petite female cultivator. The river of autumn hasn't spoken yet. Qin Zhengyan spoke first. I hate. Ling Shan has high expectations. In addition to needing at least the cultivation of the second layer, you also need to understand the Tao of Dan. It's not something an ordinary monk can handle. How about we discuss it again? Liu Su let out a laugh. Isn't it just during alchemy practice? Can you cover the broken fan a few times? I have been doing this since I was a child. Qin Zhenyan chuckled, with a look of disdain. I'm angry about this. Liu Su rolled up his sleeves. If it weren't for the holy maiden's orders, I've long kicked you out. You kicked my lifeline to pieces. You don't believe it, do you? Let's give it a try now. Qin Zhenyan furrowed his brow. Not very willing. The second-grade spirit herb that you have worked hard to cultivate. How could I let you be treated so poorly? Autumn River. Then let's give it a try. Qin Zhenyan sighed helplessly, only able to bring Liu Su into the alchemy chamber. Rui Taoist friend, we are practicing the second rank, the simplest passion pill. Qin Zhenyan took out the passion pill, the required spiritual herbs and elixirs. He said to Liu Su. Liu Su's eyes twinkled. My name is not Rui. My name is Su Su. From now on, just call me Su Su. Qin Zhenyan nodded slightly, not taking it seriously. Thinking of you. Most likely there won't be a future. Looking back at the river of autumn, he stood at the door of the alchemy room, nod slightly to oneself. Qin Zhenyan then instructed Liu Su. First, ignite the red fire. Liu Su let out a disdainful snort. The skilled hand reached into the bottom of the stove. After a moment, the elixir stone placed at the bottom of the cauldron. It caught fire. Qin Zhenyan was slightly surprised. No more words for now. Begin practicing alchemy. Liu Su beside me. He picked up the low-grade spirit fan, let out a disdainful hum. Stir up casually. His actions seemed careless and nonchalant, but the fire in the furnace was quite stable, continuously refining the passion pill. The most suitable temperature, Lion Dai and Qin Zhenyan's process of alchemy. Everything has gone much smoother. You are too long. Don't push so hard. Qin Zhenyan was surprised. Can you see my divine consciousness? Liu Su pouted. I was born with dragon scale eyes. Your kind of hidden consciousness. I can see through it easily, okay? Qin Zhenyan felt a shock in his heart. His unique perception. It can be said that this is his hidden trump card. I didn't expect that. I was unexpectedly seen through by this mad courtesan with just one glance. Don't be so deep. All has been revealed. Liu Su said again. Qin Zhenyan realized. Calm your mind. As he said, control the divine consciousness. Indeed, the process of blessing Ling becomes smoother. The final infusion of spiritual energy into the medicine. Compared to the last time he refined the passion pill, more abundant. Then it's the final step. Undertake. Last time, the refining of the ice-clear pill and the passion pill failed. It's largely at this step, although the gradually solidifying potion transformed into a divine elixir. But soon, the elixir cracked open, causing the aura to dissipate. This time, the spirit fan alchemist has already controlled the fire of the elixir. Qin Zhenyan could focus wholeheartedly on his responsibilities. He manipulated his divine sense, wrapped the medicine ball around whining. Liu Su spoke again. Your spiritual awareness is not strong enough. You need to make a few more loops. Otherwise, it can't be contained. Qin Zhenyan instinctively followed his words. The long and slender consciousness Wrap the medicine ball several times. It completely covered the medicine group. Liu Su's voice came to my ear again. Use strength. Put in effort. Push harder. Qin Zhengyun controls his consciousness. Continue to exert force and wrap tightly. But it's still my first time trying to take on such a burden. I feel a bit out of place. Liu Su covered the fan with one hand, a hand clenched into a small fist. Shouted excitedly. Hold on a little longer. Not yet. Push harder. Arrived. It's out. In Liu Su's loud shout, a crisp sound emerged from the furnace. Then Qin Zhengyun opened his eyes, opened the lid on the side of the Danlu. Inside lies a ball, translucent pink elixir. This color is rosy and moist. Dan Mayan Ruyu. Dan looked at the appearance. It is already better than what Qin Zhengyun refined last time. The excitement of the Dan is several times higher. Liu Su leaned in to take a look. Stick out the little pink tongue. Tusk, how sound. This passion pill is of higher quality than that in Hong Luo. At least it's senior year now. You can do it. Revival man, tilting his head to the side. Not right. It's not your accomplishment. It is the lotus leaf grass and the passionate flower. All are of higher quality than ordinary spirit herbs. Liu Su remembered something. Subconsciously covered my little mouth. The Saintess is the Lingjai master, and the spiritual herbs cultivated by the Saintess. The quality has always surpassed that of ordinary Ganoderma masters. Much higher. She didn't pay attention just now. Now that I think about it, the one who refines the passion pill, quality of lotus leaf grass and passion flower, clearly higher than ordinary spiritual herbs. Liu Su looked at Qin Zhengyun. This revival man. So it's indeed the dark pawn chosen by the Saintess. Liu Su looked again at Qiuji standing at the entrance of the alchemy room. And Zhuang is the young-looking woman with a giant peach. This thought is here, determined to stay. Dewey Qin Zhengyun said. How are you? Are you satisfied now? Qin Zhengyun said to get up. Liu Su respectfully cupped his hands. Thanks to Su Su for the guidance just now. Benefited greatly. I just watched Su Su's skilled movements. And guidance for oneself. This person's understanding of the Tao of Dan. Absolutely above him. Let such a person be your own spiritual fan key. Qin Zhengyun felt a bit embarrassed. But this woman was originally a courtesan, suddenly came running to make his key. It's really hard to understand. At that moment he asked again. Su Su, you are so skilled in alchemy, not knowing why I ended up in this forsaken place. This well. Liu Su's eyes darted. The eyes blinked twice. A drop of tear. It has already flowed down. Fellow cultivator, there is something you may not know. Su Su is actually a person with a hard life. It's time to showcase true skills. Liu Su entered the Kinglian gate at the age of 5. Her cultivation talent is average. Can enter the gate of integrity. It's still because of her. Naturally born dragon scale eyes. On the subject of cultivation, don't mention senior Sister Chunhong from the Master Hall, and Zaya Kinglian, who entered alongside her. It's just better than most seniors. We are still far off, but heaven is fair. I close a door on you, and I won't forget to close the window for you too. Liu Su not only had average cultivation talent, ordinary spiritual root, even the body isn't in great shape. When I was a child, I often lay in bed sick. If nothing else, I can only browse through the older students' materials. The sketchbook brought back from outside. I'm bored. while looking at the picture book, imitating the talented scholars and beautiful women inside. Over time, surprisingly, I practiced until I could control my breath, can make the tears flow down, can spin a melodramatic story effortlessly. For example, right now, Liu Su's eyes were filled with tears. Her expression was sorrowful. The voice is hoarse. I won't hide it from you both, friends. I once had a beloved senior brother. We agreed to bring him on the day he is stationed. Binjai why don't lie. For this goal, I work hard to earn snacks. Just to buy him a snack. Zero order. Help him with his cultivation. Finally, he successfully stationed in Jai, also joined the Jinyang sect. He promised me, help him establish a foothold in the Jinyang sect. Just come back and marry me. I am filled with anticipation. I dream of a day he will ride on a multicolored cloud, appeared before me, to marry me with great splendor. Who would have known? Liu Su covered her face with her hands, squinting his eyes, watching through the gaps between fingers. Only the heartless, ungrateful one was seen. But that petite female cultivator, Ji Mayan Wu Bio King, she continued her performance. Little did I know, I waited for years. She has become silent. Later, I went to Jinyangzong to find her. This is when I realized. It turns out she had already been with a female cultivator from the Jinyang sect. The path of reasoning. I want to enter Jinyang Mountain. Ask her for clarification. But that female cultivator found someone, beat me into serious injury, almost lost all my cultivation. I feel disheartened. Just indulge myself. This is how they entered the Yihang Lu. Fortunately, that day I met a fellow practitioner. Liu Su looked at Qin Zhengyun. You bought my first banquet, but did not touch me. I suddenly realized this. For a heartless man, why punish yourself like this? Truly foolish beyond measure. I have decided to leave Yihang Building, start a new life. That day I stopped you. It's not that I want to get entangled. Just want to borrow your hand. Leaving Yihang Building, I apologize to my fellow cultivator here. Today, you and I meet again. I am willing to do my best to help you refine pills, my friend. Never do what he wants. Liu Su bowed respectfully to Qin Zhengyun. Qin Zhengyun looked utterly shocked. Goodness, is it really that dramatic? Could it be that you offered the wet? Qin Zhengyun asked. What is the name of that unfaithful senior brother of yours? Form a bond with him. Once again, instructing fellow disciples to harm your female cultivator. Who is it again? Liu Su sniffed, with a face full of sorrow. The sound of despair echoed. That heartless person is named Zio Lang. The fierce female cultivator is named Yi Ziyu. Yiziu. Zio Lan. Qin Zhengyun opened his eyes wide. Master Sister Yiziu of Jinyang sect. Last year's 3 incidents in the northern wilderness. Zio Lang of the Trial of Destiny. Liu Su nodded. Curran Dao. Exactly. Qin Zhengyun momentarily hesitated. There's no need to say anything about Yiziu. Currently, there are only 2 innate supreme spiritual roots in the world. Foundation at the age of 10. 25-year-old Yuan Ying. Among the younger generation, the person most likely to ascend, and Zio Lang, has risen to prominence in recent years. It is said that he has extraordinary talent. During last year's 3 trials in the northern wilderness, defeating numerous geniuses, winning the nomination, these 2 prominent figures in the cloud. One is the revived Han who abandoned Su Su. One is the mistress seducing a scoundrel. Why does this sound so ridiculous? F. Qin Zhengyun wanted to ask again. Qiu beside him interrupted. To Liu Su, January 5, 0 hours. Evening practice session. 3 meals a day eat with us. Speed is deducted by 20 hours a month. Qin Zhenyan was completely stunned. A spirit fan key. It usually takes around 5 to 7 o'clock. Qiuji gives the lowest compensation, and that's that. The speed still needs to be reduced to 20. My wife is actually darker-hearted than I am. Yet Liu Su surprisingly did not haggle. A smile. All right. Then he leaned towards Qin Zheng and gave him a supportive nudge. Master, Su is reasonable now. Qin Zhenyan coughed once. Just call me Qin Dayu. He always felt that something was off. Just a casual thought. This whole situation is filled with flaws. But I couldn't find a reason to refuse Su for a moment. It feels just like Qiuji. He directly arranged a spirit fan key for him. This Su is clearly not someone to be underestimated. Why did Ji specifically take a liking to him? Qiuji said to the two of them, "You all continue practicing the sentences." He finished speaking and walked out of the training room. Liu Suzhou blinked at Qin Zhengyun. "Master, let's continue. Don't call me master." "Master, what vocabulary do you want to practice this time?" 2 hours later, Qin Zhengyun walked out of the training room with a face full of springtime joy. Following behind is the slightly tired Liu Su. In these brief 2 hours, Qin Zhengyun unexpectedly refined 2 ice-clear pills in succession. To know, last time he made a clear ice list. It took a full 2 hours, and in the end the bill cracked. Now, at the same time, doubling the practice efficiency. Moreover, the 2 ice crystals showed no cracks at all. The quality is about 30% higher than that of ordinary ice products. I have to say, although this Su has an unknown background, my mind is a bit troubled. But indeed, it is an excellent spiritual key. Even his practice experience is even richer than Qin Zhengyun's. Just now, it was his few words of guidance again. Qin Zhengyun was able to successfully cultivate 2 ice-clear Dan pills. My wife truly cares for me. Eating. Qiu brought out a pot of meat soup and a pot of porridge. Said softly, "But it smells so good." The 3 sat down. Liu Su sniffed. Her eyes sparkled. "Is this high-quality spirit meat? Pick up the chopsticks. Just go for the fragrant meat in the pot at home." But the river of autumn blocked his chopsticks. "You drink porridge." Liu Su opened her eyes wide. "No way. You eat meat." "I drink porridge." "That's too much." Autumn river path. The meat is for him alone. Me and you. Everyone drinks porridge. Qin Zhenyan quickly said, "I hate." "You eat meat too?" "The autumn river flows quietly. You practice alone and cultivate. Need to replenish energy. I don't need it." Xuanbing Liu Huo's skill reversed into a dual cultivation technique, cultivating both reason and practice. It can replenish the spiritual energy needed for cultivation. Heavenly essence. It is no longer necessary to rely on food for sustenance. Qin Zhengyun is not doing this for the first time either, listening to the river of autumn say this. But still a bowl of meat soup was served. Put it in front of him. Eating not only replenishes energy, there is also the joy of tasting delicious food. You work hard buying groceries and cooking. How can one not eat meat? Liu Su looked at the bowl. Aromatic top-quality spirit meat. I'm about to drool. That's right, that's right. The joy of food, but one of the greatest pleasures in the world. Maiden, if you don't like eating meat, just give it to me. Reaching out to grab the bowl in front of Qiu Zhai. But I see that the river of autumn has already arrived first. lifted the bowl. She slightly tilted her head and began to drink the soup. He is skeptical about the so-called joy of gourmet food. Not interested. But this bowl of meat, it was Qin Zhengyan who served it to him with his own hands. He subconsciously don't want anyone to get involved. Liu Su stared blankly at the river of autumn. He and Qin Zhengyan drank soup from big bowls. Bite into the meat heartily. The eyes have turned green. You're bullying us too much. Something's off. This couple is very strange. At the dinner table, Liu Su held the bowl, while drinking porridge, while observing Qin Zhengyan and Qiu Jie. The Saintess brought him here, making a key for a small second-tier Dan master, enduring humiliation and bearing burdens, self-assured in their depth of meaning. Perhaps this Qin Zhengyan, it's pretending to be weak while being strong, concealed the cultivation level. She is actually the Saintess, a hidden flag buried in Yunlin town. And then there's Qin Zhengyan's wife. Her appearance and figure are quite stunning. She actually willingly married him, still buying groceries and cooking for him. The key is, the mountains and rivers are vast. Surprisingly, it's even bigger than me. There must be something fishy going on. Liu Su had a pair of big eyes. Turn left and right, quietly observing Qin Zhengyan and Qiu Jie. He was born with dragon scale eyes, can see through many things. After careful observation, discovering Qin Zhengyan's presence, there is nothing hidden. It seems to be just one ordinary second-rank alchemist. Liu Su cleared his throat. Zhao Qin Zhengyan blinked his eyes. Master, you see me. Standing up while speaking, the whole body began to convulse. The facial features also twitched, like a broken doll. This is between him and the Saintess. The secret code of the agreement, only the Saintess does not wash this signal. Have never done it before. But Liu Su really likes it. If this person is truly the hidden pawn arranged by the Saintess, there will definitely be a reaction. Qin Zhengyan indeed has a reaction, a look of shock. Su, fellow cultivator, did you have a seizure? Liu Su and his younger brother stopped, rolled her eyes. Hee, the porridge is so delicious. Let's dance to celebrate. Having said that, he sat down, angrily lifted the pot. Boo! Leave the remaining porridge in the pot. They all drank it all, with a spray. Put the pot on the table. Hit the jackpot. I'm full. Going to take a shower. After speaking, he hugged his own. Change of clothes. Heading to the bathroom. Qin Zhengyan reminded from behind. The bathtub is exclusively for my wife. Remember not to use it. Liu Su turned around angrily. Your wife is your mother. Blind man. Liu Su walked into the bathroom. Quickly boil the water. He looked at the large and comfortable bathtub. A sharp sound echoed. Use the bucket next to you. Filled the bathtub with water. Took off the clothes. Scooping water with a wooden spoon. Pour it on oneself. While pondering, Qin Zhengyan's talent is mediocre. How to look at it? It doesn't seem like a secret arrangement by the saint. That must be his wife. This woman has a cool demeanor. There is a unique flavor. It doesn't feel like a place for someone living in a shared rental. Ordinary female cultivator, and moreover, her brows and eyes always felt somewhat familiar. The most important thing is Qin Zhengyan's alchemical herbs. They are all high-quality goods. Once upon a time on Kinglian Mountain, this high-quality spiritual herb, only a saintess can cultivate it, said. Liu Su's body jolted. The mountain shook slightly. Is it possible? That woman is the saintess. However, I just signaled. Why doesn't the saint respond? And the saintess can't cook at all. And this woman, at a glance, it's clear you often cook. Liu Sai, you thought. The more confused I get. It always feels like there is a layer of black sand covering my eyes. What is hidden within? Can't see clearly. She finished taking a shower. Stepping out of the shower, the river of autumn has entered the bedroom. Qin Zhengyan was washing dishes in the kitchen. This couple, one cooks while the other washes dishes. Housework is done half by each person. It's quite harmonious. Liu Su pouted. Walking into the kitchen, a charming smile appeared on her face. Washing the dishes. Qin Zhengyan turned around. Liu Su smiled darkly. I watched you refine elixirs during the day. The quality of the spiritual herbs is quite high. Who gave it to you? Qin Zhengyan looked at her, calmly said, I bought it at the night market. But Liu Su felt a slight disappointment in her heart. It was not cultivated by the saint. Describe that youthful-looking young wife. Not a saint. So among these two people, what exactly is a dark pawn? Just thinking about it. Then Qin Zheng said, in the evening, you assist with the Dan matters. Don't run around for no reason. By the way, remember to clean the Danlu tomorrow morning. Liu Su widened her eyes. I am the Lingshan Qi. Isn't it better than the sweeping Dan furnace? Qin Jingyan was astonished. My wife just said you are capable and obedient. Let me give you orders freely. Did my wife misjudge someone? If you are unwilling, you can leave too. Liu Su pointed at Qin Zhengyan. Anger made her chest heave. Finally, with a flick of the hand, she walked out of the kitchen. Just sweep it. I'm afraid of you. Dennett, if it weren't for the Saintess's command, I won't take any nonsense here. Watching Liu Su's angry figure leave, Qin Zhengyan seemed lost in thought. He was deliberately testing Liu Su just now. Transformed from a hook-basket courtesan, Yibian has transformed into an experienced Lingshan Qi. There are many doubts about this. Know what made him stay. Perhaps she was impressed by his abilities. Can help oneself practice alchemy. But this Su Su has an unknown background. Qin Zhengyan still couldn't trust him. We can only leave him for a while. Let's take a look and talk later. The night falls outside the window. It's the weekend again. Qin Zhengyan left the kitchen. The door to the training chamber has already closed. He walked into the bedroom. Qiu Chai and Pan Tui sat cross-legged on the bed. Hearing Qin Zhengyan coming in, open your eyes. Gently said, let's begin. Oh, okay. Next door. The door to the alchemy room quietly opened. Liu Su peeked out. Look around. Tiptoeing out. Walked to the bedroom door. Gently press your ear against the tightly closed door. He still feels. This couple seems a bit suspicious. Tonight, we shall explore the truth behind the facade. A series of men's voices echoed. Listening is quite painful. Seems to be filled with joy again. Liu Su has been in the Red Building for so long. Never eaten pork. You can also see the pigs run. Suddenly understood. Her face turned red. Quickly press your ears closer. Well, why is that ruthless man always screaming? That young woman looks petite. So fierce after all. Tisk, tisk, tisk. The more I listen, the more engrossed I become. In the bedroom, after 100 breaths, the river of autumn is dressed beautifully. Suddenly jumped off the bed. Qin Zhengyan was astonished. Dai, where are you going? The autumn river quietly reaches the doorstep. Raise your hand. Hastily wanting to stop, I quickly scroll. But a moment later, a small soundproofing array has changed on the door, then returned to the bed. Qin Zhengyan looked at him in surprise. Hey, Are you really a formation? Outside the door. Ung. Why is there no sound? Liu Su was puzzled. My ears are about to get squished flat. But still, I couldn't hear any sound again. So soon it's gone. Liu Su let out a sigh. What passion elixir are you practicing? You should practice making more golden pill of essence. Didn't steal the foot, just listened. Liu Su responded indifferently while practicing alchemy, lying down on the floor mat. In my heart, I suspect that the young woman is a saint. Thoroughly eliminate. The Saintess cannot marry an ordinary cultivator, especially can't be compared with the marital affairs of such low-level male practitioners. The saint sent me here. What is the intention behind this? Liu Sayu thought and thought, but couldn't make sense of it. Take out a communication talisman connected to the saint. Send the message. Saint Maiden, I am already at Qin Zhenyan's house in Jiu Alley. I have taken the spirit fan key. I find this couple very suspicious, especially that woman, looking at the blue coldness. It just happens to be so big. The sky hasn't even darkened. It's just like what Qin Zhenyan said about living recklessly. At first glance, he's just a shy tease. Saintess, you need to be careful. Such a woman is not trustworthy. Jai-hei, are you asleep? In the neighboring bedroom, Qin Zhenyan was facing away from his autumn river. Softly asked. The sound of the autumn river softened. What happened? Qin Zhenyan said. Jai-hei, why do you have to keep that Su-Su? The river of autumn softly spoke. She can help you refine elixirs. It can also assist you in your cultivation. Help me in my cultivation. Qin Zhenyan is correct. The river of autumn continues. During training, if one day there is a person with dragon scale eyes, I will guide you on the direction of the spiritual energy flow. Can enhance cultivation speed. Qin Zhenyan was surprised. Dragon scale eye has this effect as well. There are many types of innate special physiques in the cultivation world. For example, a naturally gifted spiritual root. This is the top-tier physique. There are many unique and diverse special constitutions. What are dragon scale eyes? Yulin body, ice-scaled body, Guolintai, water-scaled bodies, and such. Qin Zhenyan has heard of Linglinian. It is said that if one reaches the highest level of cultivation, able to see through the opponent's techniques, ritual instrument, treasure, and all hidden things, establishing oneself in an invincible position. That being said, Su-Su's dragon scale eyes can see through the direction of her own techniques. Please help me with directions. It's not surprising. Autumn River Path. When you practice every day, let him assist you. Can improve cultivation efficiency. Qin Zhenyan hesitated. This Su-Su has an unknown origin. Impulsive personality. Is he willing to help me? The river of autumn suddenly turned around. In the darkness, a pair of bright apricot eyes, staring at Qin Zhenyan. Just focus on your cultivation. Focus on alchemy. Ignore the rest. Qin Zhenyan was just, subconsciously nodded. Jai can marry you. It is my blessing. The river of autumn turned over, turned my back to him again. No more talking. Qin Zhenyan wanted to ask him again, is it the town sorcerer? But in the end, he still closed his mouth. Everyone has their own secrets. If he wants to say, no need to ask. I will also tell myself, the future is long as you treat him well. One day it will happen. Will you open your heart to me? One day it will happen. I will pass through Sanzong, become the female demon lord of the world. So, the less my matters are known, the safer it becomes. The autumn river faces the wall, with eyes wide open, expressionless, He knows. The day I cultivate myself to honor my father, he will leave Qin Zhengyan. As long as no one knows his identity, no one knows that she was once married to Qin Zhengyan, he posed no threat. At the same time, before I leave myself, I will do my best to help him improve his cultivation, to prevent him in the future, because of being retaliated against by someone. Is this my way of compensating him? I am destined to never be an ordinary wife. I'm sorry. Next door. He can't. Why hasn't the Saintess replied to me yet? Liu Su held the message talisman. Zhang da zui ba. I hit Hikayan again. Finally, the communication talisman trembled slightly. He picked it up immediately. Indeed, the Saintess has replied to him. You focus on helping Qin Zhengyan refine alchemy. He still needs the dragon scale eye to aid his cultivation. The rest, don't mind. As soon as I saw the news from the Saintess, Liu Su's mouth just turned down. What is it? Do you still want me to help that heartless man with his training? Liu Su suddenly lay down on the bed. The message talisman moved again. Liu Su took a look, suddenly recited. The Saintess sent another message. If unwilling, just leave Yulin town. Saint, don't let me go. I am willing. Willing. Life is not easy. Liu Su sighed. Sleep tight. Tomorrow will be another tough day. One day. Cultivation. Refining tools stage 4. 66. 1000. Spiritual root. Medium grade fire spiritual root. 220. 1000. Ice element mid-grade spiritual root. 227. 1000. Qin Zhengyan opened his eyes. The 15 points obtained from last night's dual cultivation. All have been added to cultivation. In the following days, he needs to refine 6 ice clear pills as soon as possible. Add the 2 from yesterday. A total of 8. Try to break through the Dan poison trapped in Ling Tian. Let's see if we can tear a bigger hole. Let the spiritual energy flow more smoothly. This way, when practicing with the spirit essence, maybe it can help improve your cultivation even more. Qin Zhengyan stood up. There's no one on the bed. The river of autumn has risen, leaving the bedroom. Then I heard Liu Su scream coming from next door. Madam, let me sleep a little longer. Oh dear. A moment later, the door of the alchemy chamber opens. Liu Su rubbed his eyes and walked out. Disheveled. Break the horizontal and chaos. Behind him is the autumn river pressing down on him. Jai, what are you doing? Qin Zhengyan quickly shifted his gaze. Asked in surprise, Kyujik quietly walked into the kitchen. Leave behind a sentence. From today onwards, he cultivates with us. Liu Su tugged at her sagging collar, covering a patch of whiteness, sitting at the table with a gloomy expression, with both hands propping up the chin. I really want to sleep. Qin Zhengyan really didn't expect this. My own wife. Can you handle this crazy woman? Everything is arranged so neatly. Smiled. Walk into the kitchen to help. The 3 of them finished breakfast. Liu Su followed Qin Zhengyan into the alchemy chamber. 2 hours. He refined 2 ice-clear pills for him. After lunch, Qin Zhengyan is preparing to cultivate. Liu Su was pushed in by Kyujie. Sit down in front of Qin Zhengyan. Jai. Qin Zhengyan did not understand. Autumn riverbank. Liu Su replied, we should use the dragon scale eye. Help you cultivate. After speaking, he sat down beside. Close your eyes and meditate. Has also begun to cultivate. Heartless couple. Liu Su pouted, muttering softly. Zhao Qin Zhengyan glared. What are you still dawdling for? Hurry up. Qin Zhenyan didn't argue with her either. I believe my wife wouldn't harm her either. Begin to circulate the longevity technique within the body. Liu Su also sat down cross-legged, no longer being careless. His expression became focused. Those big eyes turned into purple, looking at Qin Zhenyan. His gaze swept over her entire body, finally concentrating on the lower abdomen. Why? Why is it blocked here? Liu Su Yizhen. The mystery is understood. Alone, she has been following the Saint Master to refine elixirs since she was little. Naturally, one knows the terror of being alone. At this moment, looking at Qin Zhengyan's expression, softened the individual embellishments a bit. Cultivation becomes increasingly difficult to progress. Still need to endure. The pain of eroding the spiritual fields and meridians alone. Liu Su has seen it. Some people cannot bear it, even choosing to end it themselves. Such an ordinary loose cultivator as Qin Zhenyan, in solitary confinement, still able to persist in cultivation and alchemy. This determination, indeed admirable. No wonder he could marry such a beautiful wife. This heartless man, it's not without its advantages. Liu Su extended her hand. Delicate fingers sliding on Qin Zhenyan. Qin Zhenyan was startled, just about to take action. But then Liu Su said, "Don't move. Calm your mind. The spiritual energy follows my finger." Her tone was serious, not wasting the previous fun. Qin Zhenyan understood that this was to help her cultivate. At this moment, one is also focused and calm. Let the spiritual energy within flow. Following Liu Su's finger movement, she quickly realized this is a brand new path, initially very narrow, difficult to traverse, gradually becoming smoother. After the spiritual energy circulates back and forth a few times, slowly becoming more open, can accommodate more spiritual energy in and out. Liu Su directed all the way. Qin Zhenyan did as instructed. The two worked together, surprisingly in sync. Liu Su felt a surge of excitement at the thought of being a teacher. In the past, at the youth gate, she has the worst aptitude. This feeling is so great. Walk this way. Oh dear, you got it wrong. Liu Su's fingers, slowly gliding over Qin Zhenyan's entire body, finally placed it on her lower abdomen. Increasingly excited, all spiritual energy converges in the spiritual field. Use strength. Don't stop. Just like that. Come again. Crack. With Liu Su's high-pitched shout, the spiritual essence shattered before Qin Zhenyan. The spiritual energy within has been completely absorbed by Qin Zhenyan. Cultivation increased by 3. Cultivation, fourth layer of Kai refinement, 69, 1000. Qin Zhenyan appeared before him. The illusory text has appeared. He is careless in his heart. During the cultivation period, absorb a piece of spiritual essence. Cultivation can increase by 2 points. This time, with Suzu's help, absorb a piece of spiritual marrow. It can be enhanced a bit more. It seems what my wife said is not false. Dragon scale eyes can truly help one in cultivation. Suzu, although a bit crazy, but it is indeed useful. Indeed, listening to my wife was the right choice. Liu Su just got hyped up, gasping. Qin Zhenyan was staring straight at me. He tightly crossed his hands over his chest. What do you want to do? Qin Zhenyan cupped his hands. Seriously authentic. Thank you, Su, for helping me with my cultivation. I am deeply grateful. Liu Su Yizhen. I didn't expect that. This black-hearted boy is quite polite. With hands on hips, she laughed heartily. You know I'm amazing now, right? Call me master obediently. Your little lady. You should also call me. Continue to cultivate. A cold voice came from beside. Liu Su curled her lips. Jiao Qin Zhen Yun Dao. What are you staring at? Keep going. Qin Zhengyan was astonished. Don't follow the guidance of deist Su just now. Just circulate the spiritual energy. No need to trouble yourself, my friend. After all, being involved with a messy woman. Touching around on the body with fingers. Still a bit unaccustomed. Liu Su let out a small sigh. You think I want to? The master's body holds endless treasures. The path of spiritual energy flows in countless ways. If every training session all follow the same meridian, the improvement is extremely limited. Longling can see through every time the path that is most beneficial for enhancing one's cultivation. If I set up a stall outside, help someone with their practice. At least 10 spirit stones. Do you know you've struck it rich? Qin Zhengyan did not expect. There is still this layer. Thought about it. To Liu Su. Since that's the case, I will give Su some rewards. I'll give you more every month. How about the 50 spirit pearls? Thank you. Liu Su's fists have hardened. Damn heartless man. Shameless. Shameless. Qin Zhengyan smiled and said, Suzu, no need to be polite. Then let's get started. Then he took out a piece of ling sui. Closed my eyes. Liu Su opened her eyes wide. I'm not being polite to your sister. I didn't say anything, all right. She was so angry that her chest heaved. But thinking of the holy maiden's reminder, I can only swallow this anger. Open the dragon age eye. A finger poked at Qin Zhengyan. Ardor, have you not eaten? Tell you to loosen up a bit. Should it be? 5 watch periods have passed. As Liu Su's voice gradually became hoarse from the high pitch, today's 6th piece of the spirit essence shattered. Cultivation, 4th layer of Kai refinement, 84, 1000. Qin Zhengyan opened his eyes. The face is covered in stars. Previously consumed 6 pieces of spiritual essence. Can only improve by 12 points. Now it can be raised by 18 points. It turns out to be harder than working at night. There are still many points from the 5 upgrades. This is still the first time. Qin Zhengyan's points for self-cultivation and improvement, surpassing the dual cultivation. Of course, the efficiency of dual cultivation, it still needs to be much higher, no matter what, thanks to Su. Su, fellow deist. Qin Zhengyan was just about to express his gratitude again, but seeing Liu Su already sprawled out in all directions, lying on the ground, gasping for breath, hair disheveled, blank-eyed, Dao Yu, what happened to you? Qin Zhengyan quickly asked. Liu Su lay on the ground, gave him a glance. Brother, you took 6 hours. You still ask me what's wrong? Qin Zhengyan apologetically said, Thank you for your hard work, deist Su. Tomorrow you, if it were a bit quieter. If I had thought of it, I wouldn't be so tired now. These 6 time periods. Liu Su directed while screaming excitedly. Everyone gets tired. Liu Su glared at him. I will call myself. I like it. What's going on? At this moment, Qiuzhi opened his eyes, said faintly, Alchemy. All right. Jai Qin Zhengyan replied, sat down in front of the bronze furnace. Zhao Liu Su waved. Su, my friend. Come on. Liu Su opened her eyes wide. Still need to refine the elixir. Qin Zhengyan said, I forgot to tell you. I practice for 6 hours every day. Still need to refine the elixir for 2 more hours. The sky is still early. Su, come over quickly. Liu Su was shocked. What kind of unscrupulous shopkeeper is this? Squeeze people to the brink of death. Qiuzhe got up. I'll go make dinner. Arriving at the door of the alchemy chamber. Turning back to Liu Su, he said, "Today there is also exquisite spiritual meat. If the performance is good, tonight I will give you meat." Liu Su scoffed coldly. "You thought I've never eaten meat, huh?" He got up and walked to the Danlu. "Pick up the spirit fan." Chongqing Zheng said, "What are you staring at?" "Start the draft." Qin Zhenyan smiled, directing to the furnace and the herbs beside it. "You are. These tasks should be done by you." Liu Su almost choked. Gave him a fierce glare. "Ignite the Dan stone. Open the side cover of the Dan furnace. Place the herbs one by one into the furnace." Very soon the alchemy room echoed once more. Liu Su's voice was hoarse with anger. 2 hours later, Qin Zhenyan walked out of the alchemy room feeling refreshed and invigorated. He has just successfully refined 2 ice purity pills. In 2 days. Then you can refine 8 ice clear pills. Once again, we are attacking the Dan poison within the Ling Tian. So fragrant. Jade's skills have improved greatly. Walked to the table and sat down, looking at the meat soup placed on the table. Ko Qiuzhai he praised. Qiuzhit looked at the alchemy room. "Where is Su?" Qin Zhenyan shouted inside the morning. Su, fellow cultivator. It's time to eat." Arrived. A woman with disheveled hair appeared, crawled out from the alchemy room. Hair covers the face. Reminded Qin Zhenyan of the true Sadako from a horror movie in a past life. Liu Su climbed up to the table, gripping the table with both hands, struggling to prop himself up. "Sit down." I saw the meat soup on the table. In Wu Shen's eyes, finally, a glimmer of brilliance emerged. "Well, I need. Liu Su finds it extremely difficult to have a meal of meat. The autumn river is very considerate. Bite her a bowl of soup. Put it in front of her." "Thank you, madam," Liu Su said emotionally. "You heartless woman. Finally, a conscience for life." Liu Su was surprised. "Why is there only one piece of meat in my bowl? The river of autumn flows gently. You don't need to consume flesh to replenish your energy in your cultivation. This meat is not paying attention to you. Just taste the flavor." After speaking, he bit into a bowl for Qin Zhenyan. This time, the bowl is filled with meat. It's already piled up like a small mountain. "Dai, thank you." "You eat too." Qin Zhenyan took it over. Fan Hu took a bowl from Qiuzhe. He even specially added a few extra pieces of meat for him. "I don't need to eat meat." "You don't eat." "I won't eat either." "All right." The river of autumn no longer pushes forward. Looking down while eating, Qin Zhenyan smiled. Liu Su stood there like a wooden chicken, stunned. Su, my friend." "You eat too." Liu Su stared blankly into the bowl. "The only piece of meat. My life is so hard." 2 days later, reality an illusion, the sky outside is gradually darkening. Qin Zhenyan walked out of the alchemy room with a smile on their face. Dui Zheng is holding the meat soup. The autumn river path coming out of the kitchen. "Jai, I have refined 2 ice clarity pills again. Tonight I plan to try challenging the Dan poison in Linshan, his serious case of erysipelas. I have already told Qiuzhai. In the past 2 days I refined 4 ice clarity pills. Add the previous 4. A total of 8 high-quality, ice-clear pills. You can try again, impacting the blockage in Lin Tian's inner region of Dandu. Let's see if we can do this again." That small crack has grown larger. In this way, the spiritual energy flows. It will be smoother. Jai, tonight, I plan to stay up all night. You can sleep by yourself. Qin Zhengyan added another comment. Qiu Zhai, he softly sighed. Liu Su crawled out of the alchemy room at dawn. Come over and sleep with me tonight. Liu Su raised his head from looking down. She brushed aside the bangs that covered her face. Spoke weakly. Why, I don't like sleeping with others. The autumn river flows quietly. He is going to practice all night. You cannot disturb him. Qin Zhengyan will occupy the alchemy room all night. Liu Su is still sleeping in the alchemy chamber. Nature is full of inconveniences. Liu Su chuckled softly. No problem. He refines his. I sleep my own. Qiu Zhai, he looked at him gently. Liu Su felt uneasy under his gaze. Yielding to pressure. All right, all right. Who framed your man? The three finished dinner. It is still Qin Zhengyan and his wife eating meat. Liu Su drinks porridge. Qin Zhengyan washed the dishes. Biden Zhengjai entered the alchemy chamber. Liu Su's eyes turned. Gathered by the river of autumn. Madam, how about we agree tonight? He always felt that this young married woman is acting strange, planning to take advantage of the opportunity while taking a shower, to explore her true nature. What if she has these mountains and rivers? It's propped up. Ah, spit. My meaning is, I need to investigate this woman properly for the Saintess. What if she is an undercover agent sent by the righteous faction? Qiu glanced at her. I'll wash first. After speaking, he no longer paid attention to Liu Su. Jingjai entered the bathroom. Liu Su scoffed. But isn't it just a bit bitter? I really thought I wanted to see you. Alchemy room. Qin Zhengyan sat upright with his legs crossed. Swallow 2 ice-clear pills. A surge of icy spiritual energy suddenly emerged within. It is precisely the medicinal power that suppresses the dandu. Qin Zhengyan manipulated this spiritual energy to the spiritual field. Begin to strike those blocked in the Lingshan passage. Impact a few times. Yet failed to shake. Qin Zhengyan swallowed 2 more. Keep trying. Soon, 8 crystal pills. All entered her body, transformed into a vast spiritual power. Like a battering ram, he struck hard at the poisonous plant blocking the spiritual field. Qin Zhengyan only felt a sharp pain in the spirit field. It felt as if someone was relentlessly striking the lower abdomen. She gritted her teeth, continued to urge the spiritual energy to strike against the illusory city gate of the Dan poison. There is already a small hole in the city gate. That was formed by the impact of spiritual energy dispersed by the gentle breeze. I don't know how long has passed. Qin Zhengyan was sweating profusely, shaking all over. The ground in front of me was already soaked with sweat. But she's still holding on. Finally, with a faint crackle sounding from within the body, the city gate of Dandu, blocking Lingtian, was once again smashed open. Better than before. Each small hole needs to be a bit larger. Qin Zhengyan immediately felt the spiritual energy flowing through the spiritual field much more smoothly. She disregarded her fatigue. Take out a piece of spiritual essence. Absorb spiritual energy. Begin training. An hour later, cultivation increased by 3. Cultivation. 4th layer of Chi refinement. 165. 1000. Qin Zhen let out a long sigh. A smile blooms on the face. These past few days absorbing the spiritual essence. With Susu's dragon scale eyes assisting. Each cultivation can only increase by 3 points. Without Susu's help just now, Just absorbing the spiritual essence alone can enhance 3 points. If Su joins in, at least 4 points can be improved. In this way, using 6 pieces of spiritual essence daily, it can increase by at least 24 points. Adding 5 dual cultivations gives a total of 15 points. Daily cultivation improves by 39 points. It only takes 22 days to reach the 5th level of Kai refinement, much faster than expected. If you seize the time, maybe it can happen before Shukun returns to Yunlin town, promoted to the 6th level of Kai refinement. This way I can steadily suppress him, making him dare not to force Mo Ziolan again. At the same time, with the 6th level of Kai refining, there's no need to fear the great Dan Master behind Peidayu anymore. At that time, I will openly tell Peidayu, I am the one who ruined your big deal. Exhibit strength. Perhaps I can collaborate with that Grand Master. Earn more spirit stones through his channels. By the way, thinking of Mo Ziolan, Qin Zhengyan slightly furrowed his brows. Do not say there are a few days when the behavior is quite strange. It seems like something is being kept from me. In a few days, when I go to Danfu to sell the elixirs. By the way, go look for him. He seems to be on the verge of breaking through to the 3rd level of Kai refinement, if my own wife allows it. Qin Zhengyan plans to give Mo Ziolan a few pieces of spiritual essence. It's best to ask Su to help with the dragon scale eyes. Ju Mo Ziolan breaks through. Qin Zhengyan looked out the window. The moonlight is as clear as water. What a beautiful night of the full moon. Just right for cultivation. Qin Zhengyan closed his eyes. Continue cultivating. Next door. Oh dear, I'm so bored. Liu Su is sitting cross-legged on the floor. Open your eyes. He looked at Qiuzhe, who was sitting on the bed with closed eyes in meditation. 3 hours ago. He came out smelling fresh and clean. Eagerly entered the bedroom. I want to push this young married woman onto the bed. Check it carefully. His mountains and rivers are absurdly vast. In the end, Qiuzhe, he quietly said, Cultivation. Let Liu Su sit on the ground. He closed his eyes and began to cultivate on the bed. Liu Su is not someone who can sit still. After an hour I could no longer endure it. Bored and looking around aimlessly, crooked and twisted. Yet I see Q's river is still cultivating. It seems there's no intention to sleep. Liu Su couldn't hold back any more. Quietly took out the communication talisman from his pocket. Message to the Saintess. Saintess, this autumn river feels off. Practicing cultivation late into the night. I'm telling you, that pile of things must be fake. This woman is so annoying. If it weren't for your reputation as a saintess, I had already stripped her of her clothes. She harshly spanked her bottom. Liu Su complained a lot. Send it to the Saintess. I am finally feeling a bit more relaxed. Uncle and nephew, only in the embrace of autumn river. Something moved a little. A faint blue light. Fleeting moment. Liu Su Yizhen. Isn't this the reaction when the messaging talisman receives a message? This woman also has a communication talisman. Then the river of autumn opens its eyes. He took out a message talisman from his pocket, looked down, then looked at Liu Su. Who do you say is fake? Liu Su was stunned. The next moment, the autumn river has left the bed, slowly walking towards Liu Su. In Liu Su's astonished gaze, Qiuzhe's petite figure gradually grew taller, become more voluptuous. Long black hair like a waterfall, unmoved by the wind, gradually turned half fiery red. One side is snow white. That adorable round face has also transformed into a dignified and cool oval face. Liu Su's eyes were about to pop out of their sockets. "Shen, Saint Maiden, you, you are the Saintess." Looking at the familiar cold face before me, and a tall figure, Liu Su couldn't help but raise her hand. She pinched her face hard. "Ouch! It hurts, it hurts, it hurts. Isn't it? This autumn river is truly a saint. Ah, this makes sense now. No wonder the river of autumn is so vast. Because the Saintess is already big. However, when did the Saintess learn to transform?" Zaya Kinglian crouched down, looking at Liu Su sitting on the ground. He gently stroked her cheek. "Liu Su, when will you mature a bit?" Liu Su suddenly sat up, rushed into Zaya Kinglian's arms, sobbing. "This tone, you truly are a saint." Zaya Kinglian hugged her. A gentle smile appeared on his face. "Gently pat her back. It feels like soothing a small child." The two entered together, growing up together. You could say they are as close as sisters. However, Zaya Kinglian has been mature and aloof since childhood. Liu Su is lively and spirited, though name a maid, but more often than not, Zaya Kinglian is more like Liu Su's older sister. Zaya Kinglian said softly, "The Battle of Tianliu Mountain. The master used a spiritual puppet to replace my true self, sent me out before the violent body. My cultivation is completely wasted. Only the Xuanbing Lihuo Palace can be practiced in reverse. Conquered here, waiting for recovery. Find a way to avenge master, senior sister, and the fellow disciples. Reverse cultivation of the Ice and Fire Palace." Liu Su looked up from Zaya Kinglian's embrace. "Sift." Zaya Kinglian fell silent for a moment, suddenly said, "Yes, after the reversal training, Xuanbing is for the shadow, Lai Huo is the yang, borrowing dual cultivation to harmonize yin and yang. You can gradually regain your cultivation." Dual cultivation. Liu Su opened her eyes wide. The voice trembles. "So, Saintess, you have been sharing a room with Qin Zhengyan these past few days. It's really her." Zaya Kinglian nodded slightly. "I have already married her. Naturally, one must engage in intimacy." Liu Su was stunned. "I am the holy maiden of the Kinglian sect." She actually married an ordinary wanderer from a remote small town. You still have to serve her in bed every day. Oh my, I cannot accept it." Liu Su held onto Zaya Kinglian. "Saintess, you endure humiliation and bear heavy burdens. I feel so heartbroken. Saint girl, what does that taste like? Is it really that enjoyable? You tell me everything in detail." One day, Qin Zhenyan walked out of the alchemy room. "I didn't sleep at all last night." He was slightly tired. However, the monk is physically strong. Staying up for a night or two is fine. It won't damage the foundation either. The son-in-law has risen. Breakfast is ready. I will bring it to you. As soon as I came out, I saw Liu Su mopping the floor. Seeing Qin Zhenyan, Liu Su smiled brightly. I went to the kitchen and brought out the porridge and steamed buns. Qin Zhenyan looked at him in surprise. "Su Su, fellow cultivator, what is this?" After Su Su arrived, besides helping him refine elixirs and cultivate, never done anything else. Lazy and indulgent. It can be said that they have taken power. I actually got up to clean today. I also made breakfast. The sun has risen in the west. Liu Su continued to smile. "Son-in-law, from now on, I will be the young lady's maid. I'll take care of everything at home. Qin Zhenyan is a bit fierce." "What do you call me?" "Son-in-law, ah, Liu Su Dao. I am the lady's maid. You are the husband of the young lady. I naturally have to call you son-in-law." After speaking, they went back to mopping the floor, holding the mop with both hands, pulling left and dragging right, wiggling their hips. It looks a bit funny. Kinjenyan endured, kept asking, "Su Su, fellow cultivator, what happened to you?" Liu Su turned back and glared at him. "When I tell you to eat, just eat. Why so much nonsense? This is the right flavor." Kinjenyan felt at ease. "Lift the bowl. Look into the bedroom in the morning. Eating the box. The young lady is cultivating. Don't disturb her." Liu Su Mei sternly reminded. After mopping the floor, went to the kitchen again. "I cut the meat I bought this morning. Finally sat down to have breakfast. Son-in-law, I have something to say to you." As I was eating, Liu Su put down the chopsticks. "Seriously," looking at Qin Zhengyang, Su Su said, "please speak your mind. The young lady is in great sorrow. You must not betray her in the future. Otherwise, I will definitely drown you," Liu Su said fiercely. Qin Zhengyang chuckled in silence. "Su Su, my fellow deist. Chai he is my wife. I will naturally treat her well. However, you are just a spirit key." These words might be overstepping right. She felt strange inside. It was just one night of sleeping together. Isn't it better to eat from a box than to be with this crazy courtesan? We have already become best friends. Women's friendships are indeed quite strange. Liu Su let out a scoff. Anyway, you can't let the young lady down, especially not to be involved with others outside. I'm watching you. Stop talking nonsense with her." At that moment, Kyaji, he stepped out of the bedroom. Liu Suli stepped forward. "Thio Yiru Hua. Ves, are you hungry? Sit down quickly. I made you breakfast." Ta Den Den ran into the kitchen. Soon a platter of exquisite dishes was served. Stir-fried pork, cauliflower with shrimp, boiled chicken, and so on. Kinjinian looked at the porridge and steamed buns in front of him. "Take another look at those exquisite dishes." Stunned in disbelief. "Let me taste the culinary skills of my friend Su Su." She picked up the shrimp with chopsticks, but Su Su opened it with a single chopstick. "This is for my young lady to eat. You are not allowed to touch." "No problem." Qin Zhenyan was given a piece of shrimp by Qiu Jie. He added a few more pieces of meat for her. "Tai, thank you." Qin Zhenyan smiled as he took it. Liu Su glared at her angrily. "That's all there is. No more eating our young lady's food. Oh dear miss, why are you giving her that again?" After finishing breakfast, Qin Zhenyan on the river of autumn. "Tai, I want to discuss something with you." Qiuzhi looked up at her. Qin Zhenyan continued, "I challenged myself alone yesterday. Slightly effective. With the help of Su Su's dragon scale eyes. The cultivation efficiency has improved a bit. It is estimated that in about 20 days, I can then enter the 5th level of refining. You need to consume 6 pieces of spirit essence daily. I now have 26 spirit essence left. I still need to buy around 100 pieces of spirit essence. I plan to, every day apart from cultivating for 6 hours, refine the elixir for another 4 hours. Considering the current alchemy efficiency, every day I can refine 4 ice clarity pills. In 4 days there will be 16. Take the obtained spiritual stones to Danfu Tower for sale. That's enough to buy 100 spirit essences." The river of autumn remained silent. Liu Su has already reacted. Why? You practice for 6 hours every day, refining elixirs for 4 watches. I have to work hard for 10 hours every day, right? He is now the spirit key. Once again, I will assist Qin Zhenyan in his cultivation. Kim Jong-un has to work for 10 hours every day. He naturally has to run along. Is this going to tire the pig to death? Not doing it. I only work 4 hours a day. Absolutely no overtime. Liu Su immediately opposed. Qiu Jif looked at him. Liu Su immediately softened, lying down on the table. Forget it. For the sake of my family's young lady. It's cheapened by the heartless man. Thank you, River. Thank you, Su, fellow deist. Qin Zhengyan clasped his hands in gratitude. Buzz, Yana, Dai, if there is excess zero water at that time, I want to take a few pieces for Mosailen. She is determined to break through recently. I want to help her. Can it be done? Kyujai, he nodded slightly. Thank you. Jai, Qin Zhengyan looked towards Liu Su again. Su, fellow cultivator, I will need your help with the dragon scale eyes. Help Mo Xiaolan with some guidance. Help her break through. I will take revenge on you alone. Saint girl, why did you just agree to her? This guy has a wife at home. Still thinking about the woman outside. He's simply a scumbag. After breakfast, Liu Su pulled Qiuji into the bedroom. He whispered to her, that heartless man just now, making such outrageous demands. The Saintess surprisingly agreed right away. Liu Su completely couldn't understand. Kyujit looked outside, said softly, we are not truly husband and wife. She is just a tool for me to restore my cultivation. Why should I study ordinary female cultivation, competing over a man? That Liu Su exclaimed urgently. No matter how you put it. Officially, this guy is your husband. And you and she were also husband and wife at one time. If that bastard. Next time, I'll really deal with that Mosailen. Bringing her home. She dares. Liu Su was stunned. A twitch at the corner of the mouth. Who just said they wouldn't be jealous. The autumn river quickly returned to calm. The voice was cold. I understand her. If she truly has a divided heart, will not speak honestly. She and that Mosailan. Only the meaning of friendship. Just like you and I are like many senior and junior brothers of the Kinglian Gate. Liu Su wanted to say more. The river of autumn has continued its path. We are ultimately people from different worlds. One day we will leave. If I leave, now Mosailan is the most suitable person for her. Liu Su waits, at a loss for words. I don't know how. She always felt that the Saintess had changed. The former saint was cold and desolate. Killing intent is chilling. And now the Saintess. In those cold eyes, it seems like there are some extra things. Liu Su suddenly asked, Saint Maiden, if you cultivate respect for women via Senzong, those righteous cultivators have determined you were ranked as the top demon at that time. On time, Qin Zhengyan would see you this way too. Perhaps it will also align with those on the righteous path. Let's surround and kill you together. The river of autumn fell silent for a moment, turned away, calmly said, I won't let her know my identity. If she wants to come kill me, I will naturally kill her too. After speaking, he looked at Liu Su. Go help her cultivate. Liu Su let out a sound of discomfort. Step out of the kitchen. Looking back, only the river of autumn remains standing in place. The expression seems a bit confused. Sai, the Saintess hasn't changed. Still as stubborn as before. Liu Su sighed. Then Qin Zhen urged, Su, fellow cultivator, why the delay? If you don't come soon, I'll just take your snacks. I do. You're cold-hearted man. Arm time. Night market. The night is deep. Pedestrians gradually become scarce. The vendors are packing up their stalls. The remaining stock is running low. In 4 or 5 days. Sold out of stock. Then we can leave Yunlin town. Mo Zaiyalan counted it up. The remaining various talismans, pills, and other items. It's time to pack up. Mo Dao Liu, did you hear? Something big has happened over in the northern wilderness. This is Huang Zun from the stall next door, hurrying back, with a hint of panic in their expression. North wilderness. What happened? Mo Zaiyalan curiously asked. Huang Zun said, the 3 major sects head to Tianliu Mountain, exploring the relics of the Demon Gate Saint Lord, but fell into a trap. Heavy losses. It is said that Elder Sang Yu of the Denyang sect's inner door, Zhu Jingqian, one of the 3 elders of the Thunder Sword sect, has also died. Master Sister Yiziu of Denyang sect, Su Honglin, the junior sister of the Thunder Sword sect, was also seriously injured. But Mo Zaiyalan was also a bit shocked. Surprised. Sang Yu, Su Zhenqian, Yiziu, Su Honglin. These names seemed to be above the clouds. It was surprisingly easy. 2 major sects have been erased. It's going to change a lot, right? Of course not. Yiziu was very likely to become an intersect elder once she breaks through to the transformation stage. You can take over as the sect leader, but now her master, Elder Sang Yu, has been killed. She was seriously injured herself. His position in the Denyang clan is likely at risk. Then Su Honglin is even worse off. It is said that the foundation has been harmed. Even a naturally gifted spiritual root has its drawbacks. Whether I can continue my cultivation is a question. Only Feiyan sect is the smartest. This time, only disciples below the original camp were sent. No serious injury. The next 3 major competitions. I'm afraid Feiyan sect is about to take the top position among the 3 sects. Huang Zun spoke incessantly about the rumors he had just heard. It's a bit like Qin Zhengyun was an ordinary person in a past life, discussing celebrity gossip. Yuan Daoliu, since the 3 clans were injured at Tianliu Mountain, is the Northern Wilderness trial still ongoing? Mo Zaiyalan thought of something. The expression changed slightly. Quickly asked. Huang Zun said, then it naturally can't continue. It is said that the 3 sects have given orders to their disciples. End the North Wilderness trial early. Soon we will each return to our cities. Mo Zaiyalan clenched her fists tightly. The crisp voice became husky. Every year, the Northern Wilderness trials. The scattered cultivators took advantage of the disciples from the 3 sects to clear the way ahead. Quietly follow the simple. If the 3 sects withdraw early from the northern wilderness, then these wandering cultivators naturally had to leave. Huang Zun immediately reacted. First, returned to Yunlin town. An hour later, Jiyu Ali, Mo Dao Liu, why are you in such a hurry to leave? Let's leave after saying goodbye to Lin Lai Men tomorrow. Tonight I won't charge you rent. Landlord Lin said to Mo Zaiyalan, who was carrying a burden. Mo Zaiyalan had lived in Jiyu Alley for several years. Diligent and strong, warm-hearted and kind. The relationship with Lin Lyman is quite good. Landlord Lin is also quite fond of her. Mo Zaiyalan unexpectedly found her tonight. Refunded the deposit. They said they would leave immediately. Lin landlord was caught off guard. Come over and take a look. However, Mo Zaiyalan had already tidied up the room neatly. It makes it easy for her to rent out immediately. Landlord Lin felt a bit reluctant. He hopes to keep her for 1 more night. Mo Zaiyalan smiled gently. Jailin landlord cupped his hands. No need. Lin landlord, thank you for your care over the years. If I come back in the future, definitely coming to see you." Landlord Lin saw that she had made up her mind. Couldn't help but sigh, looking at Zhan Wei. "Let's not talk to deist kin." Mo Ziolan smiled and shook her head. "No, Qin Dayu and his wife share a loving and harmonious relationship. I am happy for her. Sister Lin, there is one more thing. Please help me." A moment later, Landlord Lin's eyes flickered. Sighing softly, "In the end I agreed to help. Sister Lin, thank you. We'll meet again. Xiao Lan, we shall meet again. Farewell to the landlord." Mo Ziolan strode out of the courtyard alley. Straight posture, orchid on the left shoulder, under the moonlight, emit a faint glow. Shining on the dark stone path ahead, walk out of the staff. That graceful and beautiful figure paused, looking back at Jeju Alley. The Danfang eyes glistened slightly. In the end, it turned into a fleeting smile. "Qin Daoyu, take care." 4 days later, Cultivation, Level 4 of Artifact Refinement, Skill Level 2 Danshi, 1500. Spirit Root, Fire Element, Middle Grade Spiritual Root, 280, 1000. Ice Element, Mid-Grade Spiritual Root, 287, 1000. Qin Zhenyan is examining the illusory text. Once again, Liu Su's scream echoed outside the bedroom. "Miss, get up soon." "I'm getting up right now." These past few days, Liu Su made her a spiritual fan key. You entice her to cultivate. "I have to work 10 hours every day. I'm really exhausted. Originally, I had to get up early every day to cook. I haven't been able to get up at all these past 2 days." Qin Zhenyan walked out of the bedroom. Alchemy is done with the door open. Liu Su was seen under the supervision of Qiu Zhi, while drinking and hitting, sitting cross-legged to meditate. With a face full of misery, Qin Zhenyan smiled, went out to buy breakfast for 3 people, and came back. At breakfast, to Qiu Zhi's path. I am going to Danfu Tower. Sell the ice elixirs made these past few days. Bought the spirit essence. Send a few more pieces to Modeyu. Qiu let out a sound. He sat down right next to Liu Su. He closed his eyes and began to cultivate. Qin Zhenyan stepped out the door, passing by the house where Mo Ziolan lives. Newly arrived at this time, Qiu saw Danfu Tower. The buddy saw him. Take him to see Manager Tong immediately. "Qin Daoyu, what elixir did you bring this time?" Tong Jining smiled happily. Zhao Qin raised his hands in respect. "Manager Tong is indeed a master of strategy. I do indeed have a few elixirs. I would like to ask Manager Tong for a favor. Qin Zhenyan has become thick-skinned now. Commercial flattery comes easily." Tong Jining laughed heartily. Qin Zhenyan brought nothing but extraordinary elixirs. So he went to that hall. The two sat down. The buddy served the tea. Qin Zhenyan took out the jade pouch. "Take out one ice-clear pill." Tong Jining's eyes lit up. "Look at Qin Zhenyan. Congratulations, deist Qin. So soon I have already become a second-rank alchemist." Qin Zhenyan no longer hid, smiling and clasping hands. "Thank you, Manager Tong. Do you see how valuable my ice-clear Dan is?" Tong Jining raised her hand, pinching a small mustache on his chin. After a moment of contemplation, "This is the way. Qin Daoyu, your frosty pure Dan is a very high quality. You and I are quite familiar with each other now. I won't waste any more words. A 65 spirit stone. How are you?" Qin Zhenyan frowned slightly. "Tong Jianbui, isn't it a bit low?" Before the Northern Wilderness trials began, Lin Dan Feng is the main character Peidayu, a common quality ice clarity pill, all sold for 65 spirit stones. Her high quality ice clear pill. Why is it still this price? Tang Jining explained. It's not that I'm angry with my friend. Before the Northern Wilderness trial, the price of pills that can cleanse organs and eliminate fire toxins has risen. But now the Northern Wilderness trials are almost over. Ordinary quality ice cleansing pill. It has already dropped to 50 spirit stones. Your ice clear, Dan, is of high quality. I only dare to give you 65 spirit stones. Qin Zhenyan fell into deep thought. Tang Jining waved away the attendant standing nearby. He whispered this. Qin Deu, there is another opportunity offline. You and I can collaborate. Qin Zhenyan looked up. Please, Master Tong, go ahead. Tang Jining leaned closer, mysteriously secretive. Do you know? The three major sects sent people to Tianlu Mountain in search of treasure. Qin Zhenyan nodded slightly. Rumor has it that Tianlu Mountain, there are relics left by the Holy Lord of the Demon Gate. It's not a rumor. It's true. Tang Jining's voice dropped even lower. People from the three great sects. Indeed, the Magic Gate's treasures were found, but there are traps among them. It is said that Elder Sang Yu of Yang sect, the elder Zhu Zhenqian of the Lei Jian sect, has passed away. Many disciples were injured. The three great sects have already concluded the Northern Wilderness trial ahead of schedule. What? Qin Zhenyan was shocked. Sang Yu, a person like Zhu Zhenqian, for low-level loose cultivators, like a being from the heavens. He actually died just like that. In surprise, Qin Zhenyan immediately understood the meaning of Manager Tong. You said that many disciples of Yang sect were injured. Therefore, they will soon purchase a large quantity of healing potions. Qin Deiyu is indeed exceptionally wise. Tang Jinging gave a thumbs up. The major sect has its own alchemist. However, these grand masters, basically, they only refine more than 3 bottles of elixirs for those big shots to use. If you are an ordinary intersect disciple, or perhaps their cultivation has not reached the golden Dan level, only worthy of a second-grade spiritual pill even after being injured. These low-tier elixirs won't waste the sect's resources. Metropolis goes out shopping. Qin Zhenyan frowned in thought, asking the way. Does Master Tong know what kind of injuries these disciples have sustained? I am good at crafting remedies. Tong Jangui said, defeat at Tianlu Mountain. It is the shame of the three great sects. Nature will not proclaim itself to the outside world. What specific elixir is needed? We can only wait for a while, inferring from the purchase quantity at Tiandan Pavilion. If Qin Dao, you can foresee the opportunity. Quickly refine the right elixir. Then I'll give you all the power I've gathered here. How are you? This old fox hunts. Qin Zhenyan silently cursed. Manager Tong's words. Clearly, many second-tier Dan masters have said this. Surely at this moment, all the Dan masters in Yuling Town. Everyone is already fully geared up. I want to take this opportunity to make a big profit. However, this kind of opportunity is indeed rare. The cost of Qin Zhenyan's alchemy for refining elixirs, far lower than other Dan masters. It's natural to give it a try. If it becomes true, maybe I can buy a house that belongs to me, the big house by the He family river. Buy a low-grade flying sword for Zhai He again. Let my wife live a truly good life. Qin Zhenyan felt a burning passion in his heart. Decide to take a chance. Teng respectfully cupped his hands and spoke. Tan Zhangui, I will come again in 10 days. Let's see if the elixir I brought is suitable. Okay. Awaiting news from Deist Qin. currently priced at 65 spirit stones. Sold 16 grams of ice-clear Dan. Another 1040 spirit stones were added to the spirit essence, plus the 300 spirit stones that were already there. That's 1340 spirit stones. Exited Danfu Tower, arriving at the Xianbao Pavilion. Bought 120 pieces of ling sui. Only over 100 spirit stones were left in the spirit essence. Returning to Wenbao County. But Qin Zhenyan believes soon he will be able to earn more spirit stones. The most important thing right now is to gather information about the three major sects at the Demon Gate Hall on Tianliu Mountain. What exactly happened? Learn how they got injured. Only then did I know what elixir to refine. On being well informed, among the people Qin Zhenyan knows, Zuran Fai Mosial and Mashan, he is just going to deliver the spirit essence to Mo Xiaolan. So they headed to the night market. Qin Zhenyan had already calculated. To reach the 5th level of artifact refining, he still needs to consume 106 pieces of spiritual essence. He deliberately bought 14 more spirit crystals. Mo Xiaolan's breakthrough should be sufficient. If needed, he can also take Su Su over there. Practicing with the dragon spirit eye pearl, Mo Xiaolan. Arriving at the night market. It's not dark yet. Few pedestrians. Only a few vendors are setting up their stalls. But I didn't see Mo Xiaolan. Qin Zhenyan found it somewhat strange. Mo Xiaolan is the most diligent. In the past, at this time, he arrived a long time ago. Why is there no trace today? At this moment, Huangzhen arrived with the goods to set up the stall. Qin Zhenyan quickly stepped forward. Huang Daoliu, have you seen Mo Daoliu? Huangzhen meets Qin Zhenyan. Wai Wei straightened up. He immediately laughed heartily. Didn't see it. Qin Zhenyan quickly asked, Huang Daoliu, do you know if he will come today? Huangzhen shook his head. I don't know. Thank you. Qin Zhenyan turned and left, walking towards Zhejiayu Alley, looking at his back. Huangzhen sighed. That day Mo Xiaolan walked ahead. Zheng specifically asked Huangzhen for help if Qin Zhenyan comes to find him. It is said that his whereabouts are unknown. Sighed. I will wait for a break. How unfortunate it is to be trapped by Qin. Current affairs are both a loss and a burden. Qin Zhenyan returned to Zhejiu Alley, knocked on the door in front of Mo Xiaolan's house for a long time. No one responded inside either. He felt that something was off. Just about to go to Mo Xiaolan to work at Fei Building as a break, but ran into landlord Lin. Qin Zhenyan asked, Lin Deu, these past 2 days, have you seen Mo Xiaolan? Landlord Lin looks at him. HMPH. Finally arrived. Does Qin Dao you know? Xiaolan landed a big deal. Yesterday I went to Danang City. He said he wouldn't be back for at least half a year. Qin Zhenyan stood upright. Going to Danang City. Why hasn't he mentioned it in the past few days? Landlord Lin chuckled. Or a few days ago. Xiaolan hasn't finalized this deal yet, right? Say it again. You are affectionate with your wife every day. How can one know about others' affairs? Qin Zhenyan did not know who this landlord of the forest was. Why am I so angry with myself? But since we know the whereabouts of Mo Xiaolan, then let your heart be at ease. Bon Shudao, thank you, Deist Lin, for the information. Having said that, he took his leave and left, reaching the end of the alley. Standing in front of my own door, couldn't help but turn my head, looking towards the distant house of Mo Xiaolan. Brief, the front door opens. Liu Su looked at Qin Zhenyan in surprise. Son-in-law, you stand cautiously at the door. Come in. Okay. Qin Zhengyan withdrew his gaze, walking through the door. I'm that. Evening. The family of three returned to the table. Miss, please give me another piece of meat. The last piece. Thank you, miss. I love you to death. At the dining table. Liu Su is still the loudest. A piece of meat from the He family in autumn silenced him. Qin Zhengyan then spoke. Today at Danfu Building. The agreement with Manager Tong. Tianyu Mountain. The hidden treasure of the Demon Gate. Hearing King Zhengyan's words, Liu Su shot is calming down. The expression of autumn tranquility became cold and gloomy. What's wrong? Qin Zhengyan was confused. Liu Su laughed heartily. Swallow the meat in your mouth. It's okay. It's nothing. Son-in-law, is my meat delicious? Ah, no. Is the meat I cooked delicious? Qin Zhengyan nodded slightly. Suzu, your skills are impressive. It's just a little worse than Jie. Pad. Liu Su rolled her eyes. You're such a wife slayer. Zaya too. QJ suddenly said. How do you want to inquire? Traps in the legacy of the Demon Gate. Qin Zhengyan said helplessly. I intended to ask Mo Zaiyalan for help, but he went to the Nyang city. Will only return in half a year. Mo Zaiyalan went to the Nyang city. Qzhai frowned slightly. No more questions. Finished the meat soup in the bowl. Said softly. 3 days later, I give you spirit grass. You are refining it. Qin Zhengyan is upright. Tai, do you know what kind of ammunition to make? Unknowingly, take a chance. Autumn's harmony rises. Walked into the bedroom. Finished eating. Hurry up and cultivate. Qin Zhengyan responded with a sound. To Liu Su, I said, tonight I'll have to trouble deist Su Su again. Liu Su let out a grunt. Turn to look at. The bedroom door is already closed. Bedroom. Autumn and silence linger for a moment. Take out the storage bag. A gentle sway. 5 lingdai mushrooms appeared before him. Then he took out dozens of seeds. Plant them separately in the Ganoderma pots. The treasure left by the master in Tianlu Mountain. He considered himself to know it like the back of his hand. The killables sang Yu and Zhu Zhenqian. Injured Yi Ziyu and Su Honglin. It can only be Hongli in town. This formation. It was he and his master who set it up in the beginning. Hongli in town trigger. The initial flames filled the sky. Misleading. This is the town of flames that the young people excel in. Actually, that was just a facade. The real killing move. It is the deadly array of arrows hidden behind the flames. So, injuries suffered by the disciples of Jinnang's sect. Most of them were injured by the sword intent. The arrow killing formation in Hongli in town. Kui Tai, destroying the pulse. Sun Ling Tian, want to heal. In the second rank elixir, the most applicable are the 3 types. Treating injuries. Blood coagulation pill. Repairing the meridians. Siyumai Dan. Healing spiritual field. Return to origin pill. Of course. To avoid raising suspicion. Naturally, they cannot let Qin Zhengyan. Only bringing 3 types of elixirs to sell. We also need to refine 2 unrelated elixirs. The 5 types of elixirs were taken together for sale. It won't attract too much attention. In these 5 lingjai pots, they separately planted the blood crystal flowers required for refining the blood coagulation pill, the ancient spirit fruit needed for the Zumai Dan, the round spirit grass needed for the return to origin elixir. There are also the spiritual herbs needed to refine the ice clarity pill and the flame clarity pill. Qzhai, he sits cross-legged in front of 5 lingdai pots. Spiritual energy surged from within. Enter the Ganoderma basin. It is a naturally gifted spiritual root. The spiritual power is extremely pure. It is a spirit herb cultivated using its spiritual power. Higher quality, however, like this, simultaneously activate 5 Lingdai pot, even if it's just a second grade spiritual herb. It also consumes a fair amount of spiritual energy, just 2 hours. Qiu Zhaihe's forehead was already beaded with sweat. Her complexion was slightly pale. In the 5 Lingjai pots, many tender buds have already sprouted. Don don. A gentle knocking sound echoed from outside. The river of autumn opens its eyes. Come in. The door creaked open. Liu Su walked in. Autumn river path. Aren't you supposed to help him with his cultivation? Liu Su stuck out her tongue. I'm so tired. Take a break. Saint Maiden, don't worry. Looking again at Qiu Zhaihe, drenched in sweat. Liu Su was shocked. Saint Maiden, you have trained to be a virtuous woman. How could such spiritual energy be wasted like this? The river of autumn flows quietly. No problem. Liu Su squatted in front of the Ganoderma pot and took a closer look. Said in shock, Saint Maiden, do you really want to cultivate spiritual herbs for that guy? But these elixirs, they are all taken to treat the beasts of Zhenyangzong. The river of autumn flows gently. Sang Yu and Zhu Zhentian, they are the last 2 enemies to die at the hands of the master. The remaining people, they will all die at my hands. 3 days later, in the virtual realm, the 3 of them finished dinner, flowers and plants, in front of Qin Zhenyan. Take it to refine the elixir. He finished speaking and walked into the bedroom. So many. Qin Zhenyan's eyes were all blurred. Just as I was about to ask, Kie's River has already closed the door. He could only take his time to look it over. Fortunately, he has been studying the alchemical arts for these years. It became clear soon. This is the spiritual herb for refining 5 types of elixirs. Ling Zudan. Dumuden. Return to Yuanden. There are also familiar ice clear pill and passion pill. The first 4 types are still acceptable. What is the relationship between this passionate elixir and healing? Qin Zhenyan was a bit confused. Liu Su next to her made a clicking sound. She said to him coldly, do you know, miss these past few days, to prepare these spiritual herbs, how much effort was spent? Surprisingly picky and choosy. Qin Zhenyan quickly said, I didn't mean it that way. Just find it strange. Jih worked hard to prepare the spiritual herbs for me. I remember it in my heart. It will surely happen in the future. Why should I tell you, an outsider, all this? I am an outsider. I'm sorry, but I can't assist with that. What are you staring at? Hurry, follow me to refine the elixir. Personality. Don't go too far.